This is one of those few games that when I come across it, it is on my radar and I know about it before I go into a sale or anything. This is something I'm keeping an eye on from the beginning. Stone Age is one of our favorite games, and this is similar but with a slight twist. Instead of placing your workers and then rolling, you roll your dice as the workers and then use those where you can. The instruction manual is very colorful. It looks well laid out. Okay, I like that. Punches out nice and clean. Not quite as thick as the last game that I did, the 7 Summits, but still nice and thick. Feels good. Ooh, then you have a lot of tokens. This looks like books for knowledge, and got rocks, apples, wood, coins, wheat, mushrooms, yarn. Then here it looks like band-aids. Here's the first player marker. It's a worm coming up out of the ground because the early bird gets the worm, and so I guess if you're the first player, you get that. Got a couple wheelbarrows, a couple of books there. Yeah, all that look. The graphic design and quality of that looks really good. Let's see, the board is. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. So it is a tall board rather than a wide board. You have a ladder over here, changing seasons over here. Oh, just a really great looking picture. I really like that. You've got your card display here. So yeah, I really like the way they've done this. Here's a bag for the player specific dice. You have gray, blue, yellow, purple, red. They feel good. They feel like a normal 6-sided, not oversized, not undersized, just regular. Here's your everybody pool shared dice, the whites. We have lots of cards. Oh, they gave us lots of baggies. That's great. Let's pull everything out and then I'll start opening stuff. And the insert's just a basic plain 2-pocket insert. This deck has a nice starter on it. This deck I was able to grab the corner, no problem. These two are so tightly wound that you're going to need a blade, and this one has a small hole here, so I'm just going to do that. And this one, this corner probably looks the best, so let's see if I can get in here without cutting the cards. There we go. So just be aware of that for your copy. And these are very thin. Very, very thin. So be careful of that. And they're large size. So we have summer, spring, fall. Okay. So I doubt that these are going to be shuffled out very much and handled very often. You're going to have choices here of what to do. These will be places on the board where you can go to take an action. So they're not going to be shuffled a lot and handled a lot. So them being a little thin is not a huge deal. Let's see about these. Same quality, very thin. Now these will be dealt out. These are not necessarily dealt out, but these are like villagers that you can recruit to earn you special abilities. So just be aware that they are a little thin quality, but they do have white edges, so when you shuffle them, any little nicks won't show up. Like that. Again, same quality. kind of thin, but since these cards are so much smaller in size, they don't feel nearly as flimsy as especially these. But here you have item cards. These are things that you can build to improve the quality of living in your little establishment that you're making. So you have some almanacs, some bicycles, fields. Really great artwork. Wood, stone, 2 apples. I mean, all of the iconography is very easy to read. Gain 1 almanac token and treat it as a permanent lesson learned, which you may use once per month. Now, some of those letters, the E almost looks like a C, but other than that, everything is great on the quality and the font. Then the player size cards, again, white backs for shuffling. It's not a big deal. They are a little thin, but not bad. And great artwork. A mandolin, bookshelves. So really pretty cards, really colorful. Now, got some player boards here. These are nice and thick here. You have score trackers on the back, and then you have, each one has a different little house. That's pretty cool. There's an actual tree house. There's a little bunny den. It looks like a porcupine inside a hollowed out log. There's a raccoon, a fox. So let's get to the cool stuff. Standard little house wood meeples in the player colors, good quality. But this is what everybody's probably interested in. Your player pieces, your workers. Now these are a weird, almost plasticky wood feel. Maybe that's because of the paint, but all of them come with this little stencil. So there's the fox, there's the porcupine, and the raccoon. Oh, these are just great. There's a little squirrel and the rabbit. And each player has 4 of these tokens in their shapes and colors. They are great. They gave you 5 bags of the same size with the little seals for each of the player colors. I took these out of their bags since those are thick, like chipboard. They'll hold up well enough. I can do that. So I put the other cards into the bag that they were in, that the player boards were in. Then this will fit in there if you do it in 2 or 3 bunches, but it is very, very snug fit. This was the bag that all the little meeples were in, but they gave you so many extra bags that I'm going to use one of the larger ones and put those in it. Then I can put these square ones right into this bag, no problem. These will probably not fit great if you were to sleeve them. I think they'd fit this way, but not thickness. They'd be hard to get in there. You may have to use just another one of these bags, but these you can now sleeve if you want. You've got extra bags if you need, but with them having the white edges, the white borders, I'm not too worried about sleeving them at the moment. And we've got plenty of bags for more of the tokens. Some of these wheat tokens are wanting to rip, so you have to be careful. You may have to make sure you punch them straight down from the back side, and then if it does catch right there, just punch that. So I put the larger tokens into one bag. Then I'm going to separate these into smaller bags and see how it looks. Put the wheat and the knowledge into one of these bags. Kept these 2. I may hold on to those for something else. Let's see if that will fit down in there. Then I use some of these bags that the player dice and such were in, to put some of the pieces, and then the rest of them into the other bag. And it looks like everything fits down below so that the board can fit on top nicely, but I'm not convinced that I'm not going to create a box insert for this. I will have to play it a couple times and see how well it works, but right now that is good enough. Great game, looking game, and this is just the standard edition. I believe you can get a deluxe edition, and some of the resources are even little wood pieces, but I am more than happy with the quality of this. But that is up to you to decide, but that should give you an idea of what you get for what you pay.